Hello, welcome to Public Access. My name is Frederica Russell and I'm the Member Services Manager. I came to Public Access because I had a community problem. I had nowhere to speak my problem to my community. I tried talking to the newspapers and they edited out most everything, and there really wasn't a vehicle anywhere in my world and my environment to get the word out about my community issue. The spring that I had swum at for many, many years had been closed due to pollution, and my family and I were very upset about it. While we were out in front of the spring, lamenting the fact that we could no longer swim there, a lady came up and asked if we'd like to be on her television show. After I had finished the first show, I was, of course, very nervous being in front of the television cameras, and they asked me if I'd like to do my own television show, and I went on to produce over 200 live television programs about the environment. I would like to give you a little bit of history about where we came from. In 1984, there was a cable act that was passed that allowed the cable companies to come into our communities and basically monopolize the cable industry. We started out with the community television with Tampa Cable in '84. Then we went to Jones Intercable. Jones Intercable was bought out by Time Warner in the '90s, and then Bright House bought out Time Warner in the late '90s. And around 2000, Bright House went to the government and said, look, we really don't want to manage public access anymore. And so they put out a request for proposal for different community groups that were in the community. And there was one, Speak Up Tampa Bay, was a group of people that were meeting regularly on the issue of, will the people in our community lose their voice to talk to each other in this modern day of technology?
Hi, I'm Louise Thompson. I'm the Executive Director of Tampa Bay Community Network. I got involved in public access television in the late '90s when the cable companies had decided not to provide public access any longer. The City of Tampa approached a group I belonged to called Speak Up Tampa Bay and asked us, we were all former journalists and freelancers, print media people, asked us if we would take over the operation of the access channel. And although we had no experience in the broadcast world, they liked us because we were big believers in the First Amendment. And so we formed a board of directors, and we incorporated as a nonprofit entity. And in April 2000, we took over managing the channels for the City of Tampa and Hillsborough County. In 2003, I became the executive director, was asked to step in for a 6-month period and have been the executive director since that time, which is a very long time ago. I've been involved in the way of just trying to make sure that this First Amendment cable station stays alive. It's a vehicle for us to maintain the public's right to at least the cable waves, if not anything else. And that's an important part of, and the cornerstone of our democracy. Our goal is to make sure that there is a diversity of voices on the air so that we can better all understand each other, listen to various viewpoints, and be able to come to some conclusion about what's going on in our neighborhoods, in our state, nationally, and worldwide. And I think that everyone's voice is as important as what you hear on CNN or ABC or NBC, because it's important to hear what each individual has to say about a given event. Public access television was funded by the cable companies and by us, the cable subscribers. You'll note on your bills for cable television, there is a line item for the local and state communications taxes. Before that was true in Florida, it would be called a franchise fee. This is a fee, whether it's a franchise fee or a communications tax, that's levied at the cable companies and other companies now that provide communications, media, broadband, data, that kind of thing. That money is taxed to the cable company, but they pass it through to us, the subscriber, to their service, and so you'll see it on your bill. It was a franchise fee. It used to be designated and put in a special designated pot of money for the operation of just the access channels, public education and government access. But several years ago, our governments decided that that money should go into general revenue. Even though we're paying for it, it's not going towards the operation of the stations. So that money's going in there, and several years later, what happened was the state of Florida decided to eliminate the franchise fees and to call them communications taxes. The state of Florida charges about 9% on our bills that it keeps. And then each of the franchising authorities, like the city of Tampa, Temple Terrace, Plant City, and other unincorporated Hillsborough County, and other cities and towns across the country, then they charge a local communications tax. That tax amounted in Hillsborough County, or brought in the year 2008, $4 or $5 million from the cable subscribers alone. So that's the money that should be used to fund the P-E-G, public education and government access channels, and we're actually paying for them. And so we hope that at some point they redesignate the money so that it pays for the public's use.
We have two different memberships right now. The membership for the City of Tampa people is paid for by the City of Tampa. The government in the county withdrew their funding, and so the county folks and people outside of the City of Tampa now have to provide their own underwriting or their own funding for their membership fees. After the Speak Up Tampa Bay Board of Directors took over in the year 2000, our equipment improved, our staff just became wonderful. We've got the best trainers, we've got up-to-date equipment, we've got the best Final Cut Pro editing systems, a TriCaster, and you'll learn more about that when Erica Hudnall, our studio manager, tells you all about our training program.